Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. The Eagles snapped their losing streak with a win against the Giants on Christmas. Players and fans alike are disappointed with the performance, however, and A.J. Brown still hasn't spoken to the media. With 2 games remaining on the schedule, what can the Birds do to instill confidence going into the playoffs? Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals come to Philly on Sunday. Joel Embiid is sidelined with an ankle sprain. Tyrese Maxey turns in an ugly game in a loss to the Heat. The Sixers bounce back against the Magic, however, winning their first game of the year without Embiid. The Flyers return to action on a West Coast road trip, facing off against the Canucks Thursday night. The Phils miss out on Yoshinobu Yamamoto. With pitchers and catchers reporting in about 6 weeks, what else can we expect from Dave Dombrowski? All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good. Hope we had a happy Merry Christmas and a happy holiday this past weekend. I feel like I've been just eating so much food and drinking every day for the last week. So feeling like a piece of shit that way. But other than that,
it's the holidays, man.
Other than that,
that's the reason for the season.
Ready for the gauntlet that is upon us with the whole weekend again ahead. But other than that, feeling good. My heart is very happy and full. Got to see a lot of my favorite people the last couple days a lot. So it's been feeling good that way.
Yeah, it's disorienting, the holiday season. I'm at that point where I just can't remember what day it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that the Eagles played on Monday because they played on Christmas.
Yeah, that was kind of disorienting.
So that just made things even worse. Like, I woke up, this morning was my return to work. I work today, tomorrow, and then have off for the weekend plus New Year's Day. But I woke up this morning and it felt like a Monday.
Yeah.
Then I start working, I'm like, oh, wow, it's Thursday. Okay, that's not so bad. But yeah, as you said, Pat, between just all the food, the drink, the merriment, I'm feeling very good emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
I feel exhausted, man. For those of you that, well, I guess no one would know other than the 3 of us, but we were going to record the pod yesterday.
Yeah.
Today being Thursday, a lot of times we record Wednesday. But all 3 members of the pod were indisposed and or busy imbibing some more, and we had to push things back a day. But like I said, no one knows what day of the week it is anyway, so I don't think it matters to you listeners or viewers.
Yeah, this week's kind of the week in between Christmas and New Year's is kind of a black hole, you know.
Well, it's like you have either a half day or you're working, like you said, these next 2 days, but nobody else is really working. So you can kind of get away with not doing a whole lot. But if you're not working, then you're like, well, I might as well have a beer with lunch or hang out and
Yeah, I got the whole week off
again. Smoke a joint, I don't know, what, I don't do things anyway like this. But when you're 4 days in and everything, you're like, all right, I got to do something then. But it's been rainy and kind of nasty the last couple of days.
Once again, I take a week off at work.
Yeah, that is like clockwork.
It's like, what the hell? Yesterday was just miserable. I didn't do anything all day. Just I did literally nothing. Just
that's what helped
around.
me do that. I'm like, it's kind of nasty out. I don't really feel like going outside and walk. Even it's not a far of a walk, but I was like, I'm cozy up on the sofa. I'm eating food all day because we have all these leftovers. I'm like, I'm just a lazy piece of shit right now.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we were all the same boat. Still got after it today though, as we do for our viewers, obviously.
Yeah, we do this for y'all, man.
Yeah. We don't do it for ourselves, you know what I mean? It's a selfless act.
Yes, exactly. This is our cross to bear.
This is our gift to you for the holidays. But no, it feels good to be back. It feels like you said. I feel my heart is very full. It's very nice to be able to see all your friends pretty easily and enjoy and be merry and hang out, and everything feels good when the Eagles are winning. So we're on the right track.
Did you guys get any good shit for Christmas?
Yeah, I got a wok, dude. A big wok, like 13 inches.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Large. Like, my stir-fry game had been suffering. Like, I haven't had a wok since the Wolf House days. We had a nice little wok when I lived there, but that thing was starting to fall apart. So when I moved, I just threw it out. So that was almost 3 years ago. My wok game's been suffering ever since. So I got a nice big wok. Gonna be making mean stir-fries. Gonna make some tofu stir fry, some shrimp stir fry, some chicken stir fry.
Yeah.
Gonna be cooking good. That's probably the most noteworthy thing I got. Other than that, I got some bath bombs, you know what I'm saying? I like a bubble bath. I got some CBD bubble bath too. What else did I get? A bunch of natural soaps and a bunch of natural lotions. Do my skincare routine, keep myself looking young. keep myself looking spry and handsome. What about you? What'd y'all get?
I also got a couple pans. I got skillets, some new
Nice.
ceramic skillets. It's pretty nice. A couple that we have are kind of getting pretty worn out. So I got that. I got one of those automatic cat feeder things.
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Timed cat feeder, so that's cool.
Butchie, shout
Yeah.
out. She's thriving.
Yeah.
She's gonna be thriving even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get yourself a good old little fat cat now.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, everything's good. Should we dive into
Well, what pack it? We didn't
yeah,
actually
I
get
got-
to-
sorry.
I got no, I'm kidding. I got this lovely sweater here.
Oh, that is tight.
Shout out Hannah. This is a great little sweater. Got some all clad pants. So we're all chef boys up in here.
Yeah,
got
we
some
cooking
good cookware, you know what I mean? But I got an all clad pan and an all clad pot.
At first, I thought you said all-clad pants, and I was like, "What is
no.
that?" I was like,
It's just
"I don't know
stainless steel
what is
pants.
that?"
Pat's walking in here with chainmail
Yeah.
and just metal
Yeah.
pants.
I'm ready for the Ganon game. I got my armor on. I'm
And
ready to
just
fuck somebody
samurai
up.
gear on.
Yeah, some all clad pins. Yeah, man, some nice sweaters and nice Jim Croce album. People that know me know that I fucking love Jim Croce. So South Philly native. So
Nice.
that kind of shit. But yeah, all around good stuff. I'm not a good the whole gift and receive stuff. I'm not the best at that. Like getting people giving me gifts. I never know what to ask for. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was a great addition.
Yo, what's the worst Christmas gift you ever got? You can be honest.
I
This
can't
is
think of
safe
anything
space.
that awful.
I gotta think. There's been a couple. I know for a fact. You always. Everyone knows that feeling. No matter what age you are, when you open up a gift, you're like, oh man, you got to put that fake smile on. You're like, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, and it never gets used, or you're like, you go home, you're like, okay, that's it. I think people were getting me clothes a lot. Obviously, not this, but like you get like a generic shirt or like a generic button up or whatever. You're like, all right, but it doesn't really fit. And like, do I go to the store return it? That's just more work. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah, it's just more hassle than it's worth.
I can't name a specific gift, but it probably was some sort of apparel that didn't fit.
Yeah, it's funny how like shit that used to be that in earlier years would have been disappointing. Now I'm like I got my parents got me like a box of like new socks, and I was like, oh hell yeah, fresh socks, baby. Like I love me some fresh socks.
Yeah, 10 years
But,
ago, you'd have been like,
nice designs and stuff.
15 years ago, you would have been like, what the hell? Why did I get
Yeah.
a pair of socks?
While you're sitting there opening up gifts with a hole in your sock, you're like, I don't need this
Yeah.
shit.
Toes sticking out.
Some of my socks are getting I need to do clean out some of the sock inventory. There's some that can probably
It's that time of
probably
year.
thrown out. at
I
this
got some
point.
underwear that need to go. But
Yeah, I need to get new. I need to get new undershirts, man. Like all my undershirts are so bad. They're all like, just like pit stain. Like I don't really care because they're like the undershirts. I'm not like
Yeah.
wearing them, but it's like the pit, and then like the armpits are just like totally ripped.
Little
open.
hold up. Yeah.
They're like really fucked up. I was like, yeah, I definitely need some new undershirts.
you got to recalibrate that undergarment wear.
Yeah, you got to get your undergarment game up, yo.
Especially for a good late night. You can't be taking off the top shirt being like, oh, wait. People start second
Right.
guessing, start double thinking that decision. But yeah, could use some new underwear, I guess. But yeah, no, it probably was some type of apparel that I got. And I was like, oh, thanks. Like, I love this.
I would agree with that. For me, man, every year for like probably 7 or 8 years, my family would get me pajamas. I don't even wear pajamas. I would never ask for them. Every year I would get pajamas, and like some of them may be listening, but yeah. I got to the point where I had to put explicitly, do
No
not get
pajamas.
me any pajamas.
It's a seasonal thing too, right? Like, even if you
But-
did wear pajamas, like, you can't really be wearing pajamas.
You're not
Anywhere
wearing them
in
in
the
the
spring or
summer. I might
summertime.
wear
It's definitely a
if I'm
winter
going to
thing.
wear them, it's going to be a couple months from like January and February.
Plus, like, with pajamas, like, in the cold, I'd rather sleep in just my underwear or whatever
And
or
bundle
nothing
up.
and put a blanket on the bed or like extra sheets and be cozied up in the bed. I'm not trying to be bundled up in my bed unless I'm like sick. When you get
Yeah.
a fever, you get a little hoodie
I
on.
get
You're like,
uncomfortable
okay.
when I sleep with
Yeah.
too much clothes on. I
You end
can't
up-
be doing that.
You get all sweaty. I also don't like even a t-shirt on because like if I roll, when you roll around a sheet and you feel like it kind of is a little snug or like it like pulls the shirt a little
Yeah.
bit, you're all tight. And then you got to wake up and like take the shirt off and then recalibrate and level set again. And
Takes you a little while to fall back asleep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you roll over, you hit that little drool spot. You're like, oh, you got to flip the pillow. It's like, well, now I'm like, do I put a pot of coffee on? Am I awake right now? But
it's like I might as well stay up. Yep. So no pajamas.
No pajama gang. No pajama past like
Yeah, what are we,
or
6?
whatever. I don't know. Whatever the recommended age is for pajamas.
Y'all, Trevor, you wear pajamas?
I mean, I wear like sort of like
Shorts,
like pant, like the just sort of like I guess you'd call them pajama pants, like just like little.
But
like,
we're not
those,
talking
like,
a whole
kind of
set.
plaid.
shorts are all the way down to the feet.
Down the feet, like in the winter.
You're
Damn.
not rocking a whole set though.
No,
Okay.
they're like
It's a
separate.
giant-
Like probably, yeah. Honestly, I in the like the past couple of years, I've been into just like wearing like a hoodie when it's in the winter time. I just like, just
You
throw
be
the
sleeping
hoodie
cold.
on. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I do wake up in the middle of the night and have to take it off because I'm just like, ugh. But going into bed, it feels nice to have the hoodie on.
That makes sense.
But
I did get some nice flannel sheets.
Oh yeah.
Them things get warm right away. So like, before I used to be team hoodie. I go to bed with the hoodie on.
yeah. See, I don't do sheets, so
Yeah, I used to roll into bed with the hoodie on, so I would be warm, and then my body heat would warm up the bed. With these flannel sheets, I don't need to be team hoodie. I lay down my underwear, my body heats that up in a minute.
And it's all soft.
I got me a thin memory foam pillow too, yo. My sleep game been strong the past few days. I've been sleeping good.
You do look well rested. Now that you say that.
I think you're pushing it. I've been drinking and eating way too much to be well rested.
You've been rested then, at
Yeah,
least.
that's one way of putting it. But the other thing that happened on Christmas is my family got a puppy. Or she's not a puppy. She's a dog. She's like 6, right? So she's not a puppy. She's a mature young dog, a little terrier. Kind of looks like a Yorkie mixed with a Corgi. She has the Yorkie face, but the long, like kind of like chunky little Corgi body. So, right, my mom had told me this when I had COVID. She was like, yeah, your dad got a dog. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I had COVID. I just kind of tuned it out. So then I show up first to Christmas dinner at like 3 o'clock. And I will roll in there and I hear a dog barking upstairs. I'm like, Dad, who's that? And then he's like, oh, that's Ginger. I'm like, who's Ginger? Then it came back and I'm like, oh yeah, Mom did say you got a dog. Okay. How's Ginger? So then she comes downstairs. She was mean as hell. Like, snarling at me, barking at me, growling at me. So I'm just thinking she'll warm up. She'll be all right. So I start carrying in like food and presents and all that. She starts following me around and nips at my leg a couple times.
Oh, no.
So then I'm like, whoa, we got to stop. I lived in this house. I was raised here. I was here long before you, and I'll probably be here long after you. You better respect me. That's what me and my uncle both said to her. We were like, yeah, we've been here long before you. We'll probably be here after you. You got to be nice. Mm-hmm. And she did calm down, but I was ready to call her my little sister. I used to call her my old family dog, my little brother. I was ready to be like, Ginger, my little sister. Nope. She didn't earn that yet. Even though she warmed up, you can't be biting me. She's got to be better for a little while.
You got to start biting back a little bit. Teach him a lesson to be
Yeah,
honest.
maybe
I did my
do.
dog.
Maybe I do.
One time we were playing video games, me and Pat Morgan, and we always had boxers. And my dog Heidi, at the time, I don't know why. Well, we used to mess around like aggressively. Like I would smack her in the face, and she would bite my hands, and I would like fuck around a little bit. But she bit me on the arm, and I said, "What the?" So I just grabbed her and I bit her on the back of the neck. And Pat was like, "Did you just bite your dog?" I was like, "Well, she bit me first, man. Like I gotta teach her a lesson. She didn't bite me like that, and she never bit me again."
can't let that go.
Yeah.
So maybe I do need to bite back.
But them little herding dogs, though, they are nippy.
Yeah.
They nip like that.
Yeah.
But at 6 years old, too, that's a tough lesson to break at that point. You got to really...
Well, she did calm down. I think she's just anxious because a
Probably
bunch of
excited
people
and
started
shit.
showing up and whatnot.
They're all short, and they get a little Napoleon syndrome. They start freaking out a little bit that way.
Yeah, I gave her a couple treats. Gave her the collar rub, the old booty scratch. Every dog loves the little butt scratch.
Oh, yeah.
She was cool as the other side of the pillow after that.
Once you get a little flip over, too, they're like, on the belly. Like, yep, we got them.
Yes,
They're
sir.
done. But
yeah, I guess that's probably enough dog talk. Lois,
Yeah.
Trevor, you got any dog stories?
No, nothing really.
Does your family have any dog?
Not at the moment.
Oh,
oof.
they got to get one.
Well, yeah, I think they kind of been looking for one, but it's just like not.
It's a commitment.
Yeah, and
I
there
feel
was
like
also
you always had a dog growing up.
yeah, we had a dog, I had a dog sort of growing up, and then like through like a few we had like another dog that died like a few years ago. They haven't gotten another one
Damn.
yet.
Okay.
Apparently they were looking for one, but it's like there was during COVID, it was like everyone's getting a dog because they're just like stuck at home and are like lonely and shit. So it became like harder to like find find good dogs.
I forget what shelter it was, but one of the big ones in Philly. Shout out to them. I can't think of their name, but they first time in a while that they only had left was like the regular cat that was living there. Everything else got picked up. Everybody adopted either a dog or a cat this year for Christmas and whatever.
Jeez.
So they were all excited because they all took a selfie. All the people that help out or volunteer at the shelter were like, "Oh my god! Like we actually got everybody a home this year." So that was pretty special.
That's what's up.
After a while, they get fortunately sent away to the farm upstate, so to speak, if they stay there for whatever. But kudos to people doing that. Hopefully they all went to good homes and all that. But that was really cute to see that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All that, you hate to see people being alone, even animals being alone for the holidays. But enough of that. Unless we got any Pat Bev shit to talk about in dog terms, we could
get to that later, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think he hasn't done a whole. He was hooping, but we can get to that.
Yeah. He had one really funny play, but last night. But I guess we could start with our birds.
Hell yeah, back in the win column, baby.
Yeah. W, baby.
Yeah.
So I guess we got to
partake. We got to take a shot of this.
Shots, explosives.
Explosives.
Our boy Johnny Gans, dude.
We got the little Bird Gang whiskey here. Might as well. First win in 3 weeks.
Yeah, what a foreign concept.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Bird Gang.
Well, so how are you guys feeling about that one?
Well, I think they played about as good as expected. First half, I was like, okay, this is they're on the way back of having a all-around good performance. Defense was playing well, still giving up some big third downs. Leonard came out pretty good in the first half. Offense looked efficient for what it's worth. Then second half hit, and I said, "Oh boy, here we go again." But they got it together, barely, if you want to say it, and they got that win out. But I would still say that was a squeaky win.
Yeah. So like with me, man, my initial reaction was that this was way too close for comfort, and they should be embarrassed that they only won by 8. But after I really sat there and thought about it, you think about how the Giants scored 2 of their touchdowns, total fluke plays.
Right,
so,
like 15 of their points came off fluky plays. So, take that away, and it's looking more like what you would expect. Like, if you look at sort of the underlying little, like, fancy numbers, like, the Eagles dominated that game.
Even if you just look at yardage.
Yeah.
The Eagles gained almost 500 yards of offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't take away that.
Right,
so.
yeah.
Right, I mean,
it still happened. It's like those little things where, it was great to see them get in the 30s again in scoring, but almost 100 yards of penalties, still multiple turnovers that cost us points, one instantly and one 2 plays later with Saquon running it in. If Gal, it's all the ifs. If Dallas Goedert doesn't fall down, maybe he catches that ball. If they didn't run into each other, maybe we don't fumble the ball. Like, there's just still things that, I don't know. They scored some points on a bad team, and I'll take that for what it's worth. But nothing in that game yet made me feel like, wow, what a great, like, 40-yard bomb to A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Like, I felt good to get a win, and that's about as much as I will give that win in terms of emotional factor. Like, I don't feel any different than I did the last couple of weeks about this team.
Right. I mean, I'm definitely not ready to get back on, like, the Super Bowl train or this or that, but it's definitely felt like a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think there was some positive signs on the offense, some things that we've been kind of wanting them to do for a while. They started doing a little bit. There was some more runs at a pistol. They even had a play action from under center early in the game.
Yeah. They used a little more motion.
A little bit, yeah.
Even though it wasn't like crazy, like orbit motions and like motioning back and forth, but it was enough to make me think, okay, they're learning a little bit.
Well, and these are the teams that do it, right? Like, you're not playing you're not playing a top 5 defense where you're coming off San Fran, KC. I mean, not KC, but the Bills have a decent defense.
KC does have a top 5 defense this year.
Then KC, Bills, Dallas, San Fran. Like, you can get away with testing out the water with Quez Watkins coming in the back, or even giving it to Julio Jones here and there on a bubble route. But I think that, like you said, it's a step in our direction. We're not on E yet. I think we got about, we had enough money to put us at a half a tank of gas. Let's see if we can get to fucking full by the end of the season and let this shit really rock. But I think they still have a lot to clean up. I think it was two things I'll say that I think were the biggest takeaways. None of them were offensively because I think that team is still stagnant as an offensive scheming team. But the defense, I will say, under Matt Patricia or whoever is whatever combination of coordinators are running this defense right now, the Young Bucks out there have been holding their own. Again, given who they're playing against. I mean, they went against Drew Lock and a mix of Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito.
I'm not giving them their flowers. Yeah,
but I will say it was a...
Can't believe they benched Tommy Cutlets, man. It's like
I know.
All
Healthy
the hype,
scratch.
and then...
He must have had some bad eel, man. His stomach was probably turning.
Yeah, but them two stepped up.
The 7 fishes.
Someone got that South Philly cutlet. They gave him a raw cutlet, probably.
Like we said last week. Yep, they gave him some bad eel.
Little Nick was like, please eat this. He was like, all right. It's like the forbidden apple. He's like, oh, I'll eat it. I love a cutlet. Can't turn it down.
Yo, he went to Farina.
Yeah, I went there on Saturday for the first time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was great. Really good sandwich.
How did it compare to what was the best chicken cutlet we had on the crawl? What was the best chicken cutlet we had on the crawl? I don't remember.
We didn't go to Little Nick's this time, or did we?
We've gotten
their cutlet
on the
my
crawl
favorites.
before. How did it compare to
deluxe?
theirs?
The deluxe with like the prosciutto. And
oh my god, the
balsamic.
mozzarella.
Yeah.
So how did Farina's compare to that one?
It was about. I think it was about on the same.
Damn. Okay.
On the same part.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the place that does the with the fried pickle on it?
Oh, Dolores by me.
You didn't get that was just spitting out names. I don't know if that was a cutlet one or not that you got.
I've never gotten a cutlet from Dolores. I've heard their cutlets bang, and I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's good.
But my go-to from there is the Pooh Bear that has the ham.
That one's good.
The honey ham, the honey turkey.
Yep.
Like the honey mustard sauce, the fried pickle. That one's banging.
That shit rocks. But so again, the defense hasn't played anybody in that sense, but it's good to see the young guys get some practice in, I guess, so to speak, and look decent. They're not getting roasted. Bradbury, on the other hand, is getting roasted by any quarterback.
He looks so bad.
And Darius Leonard stepped up and had a really good game. And 3 tackles for a loss, 7. He led the team in tackles, had a sack. I mean, that was his first sack since 2020.
Yeah. It was funny watching that game because early on, the first couple plays, he did kind of get dusted a little bit. Me and my nephew, who probably knows football as well as the three of us, he could probably be on this pod if he wanted to.
He should. Bring him on.
He should. Yeah, Joel, I'll get you on the pod, man. But we're watching the game, and like we watch football with an acute sense of like what's going on. And we're both thinking, yeah, Shaq Leonard's washed. Look at him. He can't keep up with Darren Waller, who's also washed. But then he came back and had a really nice game. By the end of the game, we're saying, okay, Shaq Leonard stepped up. Maybe he's still got something left in the tank. That was one of my favorite defensive performances, was watching him. And then to your point, Keely Ringo, I know that Seattle game, but we sat here after the Seattle game, we're thinking, why is he on the field?
Yeah.
Or no, after the Dallas game. After the Dallas game. I'm sorry,
yeah.
Dallas game. After the Dallas game, I'm saying, why is he on the field? Since then, he's been making plays.
Locked down. But I think it comes with repetition. And I think that, I don't know, I will say this, though, about Matt Patricia. Like, I'm not going to give him all the credit for everything, but you look at what Desai did in Seattle last year with some young DBs, and you look at Matt Patricia's career with the DBs that he's had in New England, and he's always had a decent secondary, whether he's put them in the great position to play or he's had just phenomenal athletes playing while he happened to be coaching. But we have 2 good guys that can actually they've done it before. They know how to create a good secondary. And whether or not this is going to be the time to maybe get these young guys exposure and figure out an identity, and then you get Slay back at a certain point, who's actually had a very good year in terms of coverage. It could just alleviate the stress because you get Maddox back in a week or 2 as well.
He might be back on Sunday, actually.
Yeah. All the players in the locker room have been saying he's coming back this week.
Yeah, you don't have to rush him back,
huge.
but it's good to see that you're going to get 2 people back that are Pro Bowl caliber players. Obviously, Maddox isn't because he's never healthy, but when he is healthy, he's the best.
He's one of the best nickel corners in the league. Yeah.
So, it'd be good to see how this team adjusts. Now, I will say, can they adjust to a plethora of people? Like, we don't have to rotate the secondary like we rotate the defensive front. So, people are going to have to be fighting for some starting spots. But I think the defense as a whole has looked better week over week since the whole, putting the side up in the box. He's not out of the defense yet. He's still giving some plays to Patricia. Patricia's just calling a lot of them, but they've been looking better.
I think any defense is going to look better when you play backup Drew Lock. You play Tommy Cutlets and Tyrod Taylor.
But once teams realize they can pick on Bradbury, that's been the crutch the last 2 games. Both big-time touchdowns came and big-time drives came against Bradbury.
Well, would it be out of the question for them to bench him?
I think they should. When Slay comes back, what
Ringo,
what does he have to
corners?
I'd rather, because they had Bradbury in the slot a bunch.
Yeah.
You'll have Avonte Maddox in the slot. Ringo's shown some juice on the outside.
And he's kind of big, too. He's got a nice size to him.
Ringo's like 6'2".
That's a Chip Kelly kind of corner.
Yeah, Ringo's like 6'2", 200. So I think bench Bradbury. Right now, we're still going to be on a hook for a lot of his money, but if this is what we're going to get for the next 2 years, I'm eating that cap money, man.
Howie Roseman could eat that in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter, but you're going to have... He hasn't proven, especially when it matters. You could have... Had they beaten Seattle, which was very doable... That changes the whole landscape of the number 2 through 3 seed. Yeah. And the fact that he gave it up, all that money, you got to forget about it. It doesn't matter. You locked him in, you got him back. He did great for the first half of the year, but now he's getting fucking exposed like crazy.
Yeah, and Howie's not afraid to eat cap money. We saw Carson Wentz.
And the young Bucks have proven them. They're hungry to get paid. So if I'm them, I'm benching. You got to bench Bradbury, and you got to put Slay in there because he's been having a great year. Put Maddox back in there, and I think that would be all right. Bayer made a couple good plays, too. Starting to get more comfortable in the defense, but again, without having that solidified slot corner or nickel corner, he can't be what he is supposed to be.
Yeah, I do think having Avonte Maddox back is going to make a big difference because certainly we know that he's one of the best nickel corners on the field. From what the beat reporters that have been in the locker room have been saying, Avonte is the heart and soul of the defense.
Yeah.
So many guys on their team are thinking, yeah, Avonte's coming back. It'll be great to have him back. He brings us this life, this energy. He's just a positive person. He just has that energy, that vibe that I feel like we've been missing. At least the defense has definitely been missing for the last couple of weeks. So it'll make things a lot easier on your Reed Blankenship's. That Slayton 69-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
That's probably Avonte Maddox covering him in a perfect world.
Yeah.
But Avonte Maddox wasn't there. So things like that, you figure having him come back, getting Slay back, the defense should actually step up a little bit. If you figure Shaq Leonard's going to play at this level, Zach Cunningham's coming back. Pass rush still needs to figure their shit out. That's
probably the biggest concern.
Yeah, I'm still very not thrilled with them, but
Jalen Carter looks like he's maybe hitting a little bit of a wall.
He had to get that fifth sack before he did it.
Yeah. Baby. But his snap count's been down. I think I saw something.
He had that one play.
Yeah.
Where he was slow to get off the field. He was the 12th man on the field.
Yeah. I mean, he was the first. I mean, I think I saw something where it was the first 6 games he had I don't know, however many quarterback hits or whatever, and the last 6 he's only had 1 or some shit like that.
It's the rookie wall, maybe.
Yeah,
he's not used to playing this much.
But hopefully, rest him up and get him good to go for the playoffs, and we'll see. But yeah.
So
definitely.
He played.
I think though a lot of that could come down to with more secondary help because you figured you got 3 rookies right now on the defense, 4 really if you count Nolan Smith as well, and a banged up linebacker core and a subpar safety core. There's a lot of they're kind of doing they're just throwing duct tape on a hole that's leaking water. Once you get Slay back, who's your starter, the young Bucks on corner have been doing their job. You get Cunningham back, who was the leading tackler on the team for the whole last 10 weeks.
Missing him has been big.
Then you can rotate Leonard. It's going to help out the whole front. And like Sweat said the last couple of weeks, even last week again, I'm tired of getting these almost sacks. Once you start locking up other guys where they can't dump off to a tight end or dump off to the running back or dump off to the receiver doing a button hook, it will give that 1 second is all the defensive line needs to be able to get that actual hit or that sack or pop the ball out or whatever. And I feel like last year we had that. They were locked down. You had CJ out there for most of the year, Avonte Maddox for most of the year. The linebacker core was phenomenal. it's the same defensive front, but they don't have the time that they used to have. So, they're getting pressure. They're a top 5 defensive team in terms of pressures. One of the top 3 duos between Carter and Cox or Carter and whoever else to get pressure to the quarterback. But once you get Slay back and start to make that quarterback have to look at the second read, that's when you get those hits. And the team is ready. Also, the MVP on the defense right now, without a doubt, Hassan Reddick. That man is everywhere.
Yeah, he didn't come up with any sacks that game, but he was rushing his
everywhere.
ass off, dude.
Tackles for loss, breaking up passes, smacking the quarterback
so
around.
So we got to get to this, right? At the end of the game, I was going to save the vibes conversation, and we'll get to the rest of the vibes. What did you make of it? It's like you were at the game, right?
No, Christmas had his birthday. I can't go to that game.
Oh, right. So when you were watching on TV, what did you make of the end of the game where he's screaming at the sidelines? Nick Sirianni's screaming back at him. Then the defensive line coach is screaming at both of them.
Well, I will say there was an article in the Inquirer that actually Hannah put it out, and I did spend some time with my folks and everything tonight with another gift exchange, and the article was about the noise in the stadium this season, and with fans being upset, people were saying that it's too loud on offense as well.
Jalen Hurts mentioned that.
Said that. I was going to get to that too.
I'm not going to jump to that yet, but I will say
get to that.
It could be a communication issue where I don't think that. And again, there's been a lot of stuff to see on this team this season where you think that there's an issue that there really isn't. We don't know what's going down with what they're saying. They look. People could look at me on a video at the game and be like, "Oh my God, this guy's crazy as shit," or a little bit whatever.
I mean, they ain't wrong.
Yeah, but if they heard what I was saying, they'd be like, "Damn, he's right." You know what I mean? But I look, I look aggressive, and I think that Hassan Reddick isn't the mic, and if he's trying to say, "Hey, I see something," we don't know what that dialogue was. So if he's trying to say, "Hey, I'm fine, I see it," and they're trying to say, "Hey, make sure you're okay," or whatever, they've been calling so many neutral zone infractions this year too on teams, not only the Eagles but every defense to make sure they're not, on the line of scrimmage or whatever they're doing. I don't look into that as much because Hassan still makes up for it by the next 3 plays of being a factor in the play. He's around. He has been, talk about worth the money, tenfold.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing he hasn't been.
But I don't look into it. I don't think that it's a.
I don't look into that as just the sign that the vibes are bad. But there are more signs which we can get to. I guess are we ready to get to that? Or
I don't know if we're getting to the
else?
vibe check yet, but I will say. If we are, unless you have...
No, I don't really have any. Does y'all have anything else? I don't really have anything else. Before we get to vibes, I got plenty of vibes takes.
Yeah, no, not really.
I think one of the key factors, and my dad mentioned this, which made a lot of sense, since Big Dom has been banned from the sideline...
A couple people I follow have said this, yeah.
I think he's been saying that, he's usually keeping Sirianni dude, stop talking or whatever. And Nick Sirianni is showing that immaturity of a young head coach he's passionate, which is why we love him and he loves the city, but we're not getting paid to fucking coach a team. And I think he's a little bit immature and a little bit sloppy that way where he's not buttoned up to Andy Reid, Bill Belichick. They don't show a lot of emotions on the team. And obviously give it what it will for Bill Belichick without Brady or with Brady, but they're emotionless. They're doing a job. They're playing the game of football. They're coaching the game of football. It's like a game of chess. Sirianni gets way too fired up about everything. And I think you see that late in the game when it gets tight. He starts, maybe that's his way of trying to invigorate his team to be better. But the team is looking as if it's not responding in that way. But we don't know what they're saying, which is tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Sirianni's whole my whole issue with his whole demeanor and the way he carries himself on the field and stuff is that it's when they're doing well, you love it.
Yeah.
But when they're not doing well, it's just
hate it. It's embarrassing.
I don't know. He just doesn't seem like he has the tools to deal with a team that's underperforming like this.
There's no composure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the first half. Not ignore the second half, which is when things really came unscrewed. The first half, he waits until 16 seconds to call a timeout. Oh my God! What the hell?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Man, get your head out of your ass.
That last sequence was just between him and Hurts, just two dumb things after another.
For a team that's been so good at fucking controlling the clock, it's what? Okay, you did all that just to call a timeout anyway. It's what?
Yo, for a guy who preaches We go over situational like things
Fundamental
like this.
football.
Fundamental, situationals.
Yeah.
We go through these things on the daily. For that to happen, just
And
like
then right afterwards,
and then your
Hurts
quarterback
doesn't run out of bounds.
Hurts was trying to do the thing like he did again in the Minnesota game last year, where he fakes it out, where he makes them think he's going to run out of bounds and then twists it back in.
Yeah, they got
didn't
bailed
fall
out
for
by
it.
that delayed game penalty.
But yeah, it's just you saw Sirianni start to lose the composure, lose control of the game in the first half with that. And then the second half, it just came unglued, man.
Yeah.
Him screaming at Hassan screaming back, D-line coach screaming at him, then Devontae gets involved, Devontae screaming at him.
And he's the most mild-mannered person. I mean, calm and cool is Hurts, but Devontae, he's like the Eagles' Maxie. Like, he's the happy guy, does his
things
job.
are going good, they're going good.
He comes in, does his work,
If
and
they're
that's
not
about
going
it.
good, he usually won't say anything either. But nah, for him to be going at Sirianni, then Sirianni did admit in his press conference Tuesday, I think I was too tense for that game. Gee, you think, man? You're fighting with all your like best players on the sideline? So like the vibes are just off, man.
I mean, a 3-game slip will do that. I think that a win makes kind of smooth things over for a week. You're, you know, a little bit, you can relax, not too much, but you go down 4 in a row, that shit gets a little dicey this time of year.
I mean, the vibes still ain't great.
I'm just saying, though, San Fran lost 4 in a row and shit was getting choppy there, too. But it happened early in the year, and they've been on a tear ever since, where we kind of had the luxury of playing teams that were not the best and early in the season, so they weren't really ready to play football, and we dominated, or we won the games, I should say, not dominated. I think that this team just has a little bit of an identity issue. I'm not going to say crisis. They just have to figure it out, and, you know, we had not up to the standard. Obviously, I understand. I get that because that's what they say every fucking time. Because Hurts is just a broken record at this point. But you know, you clean up the little things. You don't give up 90 yards of penalties. You win it 33-17. You gave up a free touchdown by doing stupid shit like that, holding, offsides, illegal use of hands to the face, not lining up right, 12 men on the field, like weird shit like that. You're gonna lose. You could lose it if you're a bad team. You lose that game. But they get the win. Hopefully they level set and understand that, hey, we have another home game, which is huge for them to have that. They don't have to travel this time. In that other gauntlet, too, they were on short weeks playing teams that had a long break. San Fran and Dallas both had 13 days.
I'm not discrediting that.
So, you know, the vibes are off because they're not playing well, but they have 2 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what Devontae said. Devontae after the game. This is some quotes from him. I'm not satisfied right now. We're not playing good as an offense. I have all the confidence in the world that we can fix it, but we're running out of time. We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to put it together. It's going out there and playing football. We have a lot of penalties. Still miscommunication. It is better than what it was, but we're still not playing what we want it to be. We got 2 weeks. We're going to get it fixed. We got 2 weeks. So yeah, I think kind of just encapsulate everything that you just said. Yeah, they realize they haven't been playing well. They realize they don't have much time to fix it. Do we have confidence? Devontae has confidence in them to fix it. Do we, the three of us, have confidence in them to fix it?
I think that this team has too much quiet confidence in the locker room. Between Hurts and Devontae.
So what, you need someone like that's boisterous to be like, yeah, we got this?
I mean, look at when the years that we had Malcolm Jenkins. He's honestly an activist that plays football. The guy,
that's very true.
You know, and he's good at getting people together for a common goal and purpose and executing on that.
They don't really have that personality.
And they don't have that. Whether it was when he was trying to do stuff for Black Lives Matter or trying to do other things to like get the community together. Like that man was good at whatever it was that he did, brought people together. That's his common skill as a human being. Yeah. And we have long tenured Eagles, you know, Kelsey and
but none
Graham
of them,
and Cox.
Like Jenkins was the leader when they were here the whole time. None of them are that guy.
Graham's a big case, like Jerome Brown. He's like, everyone loves Brandon Graham. He's a happy guy, but he's not really giving that motivational speech. And Fletcher Cox, you know, can say things, but doesn't really do a whole lot. Kelsey, at this point, again, you know, he could like
Kelsey's got a foot out the door with all due respect.
Yeah, he can get teary-eyed at a team meeting, but it doesn't help it out. You need someone that's like, no, man, like, do you want to fucking play shitty football or do you want to go dominate? Like there's no B-Dog, there's no Trotter, there's no Malcolm Jenkins, there's no,
Hugh Douglas. Yeah.
anything. Like there's no fucking swag on this team. They need to have someone wake them up. And honestly, it needs one of these young guys to stop pussyfooting around and say some shit. They got to call some people out. And not to say that they're playing, not to be like, Jalen Hurts, you suck, but be like, dude, they got to get something together. They got to get a grip.
Yeah, no, they do. Maybe that's Slay coming back. He's been a leader in some capacity. Maybe that's Shaq Leonard as he starts getting more comfortable. Maybe it's Byard. Maybe it's one of these
Cunningham.
guys. Yeah.
And someone has to take the fucking, at least give it a shot. You take the mic for the week and get this team to fucking get recalibrated because they don't have it right now.
Yeah, the energy's just not there. Right. I mean, we have A.J. Brown saying after the game, I was told by my mom if I don't have nothing to say, don't say nothing. Then today, has media availability, refuses to speak. Just like that's your star receiver who had 6 catches for 80 yards. It's not like we're not giving him the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he only had one target in the first half. Yeah, then they started feeding him the ball in the second.
It's a big reason why we won the game. That 32-yard catch on 3rd and 20. It's like, dude, someone needs to sit him down and be like, bro, we won the game. You were a key factor in it.
78 yards.
Stop bitching.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The vibes are still off. They're not as stinky as I thought they were going to be. People are still pissed. I still don't really like what I'm seeing on the sideline. But, I mean, this is the advantage of this schedule is that 6 or 8 week gauntlet sucked. I dare say we probably were too down on them at times. I still got to figure out how down we were and if it was too much or not. But now you play this easy back end of the schedule where this is where you can pad your stats a little bit, pad your vibes. Hopefully you go into the playoffs on a hot streak. It's not all about who has the best record. It's about who's playing the best when the playoffs start.
Exactly.
If we can go into this on a 3-game win streak feeling good, the vibes can correct themselves.
Not when the vibes are feeling like a tea kettle as opposed to a hot cast iron skillet.
Yeah, right.
That shit will cook anything. But a tea kettle eventually will pop.
Yeah.
And that's what this team feels like. Everyone's just kind of biting their tongue.
Yeah. I think there's one question for this Eagles team next 2 weeks.
Do you have fire in your gut?
Do they?
I don't know.
No, because they all drove to the game.
Yeah. We don't have Mac Hollins here riding his bus to the game. Remember that?
Riding his little bike?
Not his bus, his bike, yeah.
Who drove over here? Who took the bus?
So, I guess that leads us into Jonathan Gannon week. Yeah. It's finally here, man.
His little bitch ass.
We've been looking forward to this game since the day his baby Cardinal head left.
Yeah.
Don't get that twisted.
He said, I'm not fucking leaving. It was out after that game.
Dude, so I have to say it again. The reason why we're here with Matt Patricia as a defensive coordinator, the reason why we had Sean Desai as our D coordinator for 13 weeks is all because of Jonathan Gannon.
That's correct.
This is all his fault, man.
Yeah.
We could have had Vic Fangio. He was in-house before the Super Bowl. And if we had known Jonathan Gannon was going to leave, we can be like, hey, Vic, you can stay here with us, man. We'll treat you nice. You'll have a star-studded defense, a really good organization. He's from Pennsylvania. He's from, like, Stroudsburg.
Yep.
He's from here, essentially. He would have loved to stay here. But instead, this egghead, chickenhead boy, Jonathan Gannon, had to just go ahead and mess it all up. No respect for his ass, dude.
No. I think he'll get a very, very warm welcome on Sunday, which I do see happening big time.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to this one. The Cardinals are very, very ass.
Yeah, they're 3-12, right?
Yeah.
I think
one of those 3 wins against the Cowboys, of course.
Which could end up being in the deciding factor in us winning the division.
Yeah.
Probably is going to be.
This is a vintage NFC East matchup right here.
Yeah, from back in the day.
Yeah.
Which, hold up. Why were the Cardinals ever in the NFC East if they played in Arizona? What the hell was that?
Why the fuck is Dallas up in here?
Yeah, right. That's my other point.
I don't know. It's not like they were ever like the Baltimore, like they were always the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
So I don't They were the Chicago Cardinals.
Still, that's not East. That's Midwest.
I know, but although that wasn't even the same franchise, so I don't know.
There
don't
are other
know.
divisions that don't really make sense even now. How's Baltimore in the AFC North? Baltimore's south of Philly.
They get snow.
Barely. That doesn't count.
I don't know, man, but listen, I think it's a cool history that way. You know what I mean?
How's
it's-
Indianapolis in the AFC South?
The best was
Well, that one doesn't make sense.
That's
but we
stupid.
have a team. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys don't make sense for.
I mean, it was
the
funny,
NFC
like
East.
different sport, but it was funny when the Atlanta Thrashers moved to Winnipeg and they didn't do the realignment for a couple years. So like the Winnipeg Jets were in like the Eastern
yeah.
Conference.
Holy shit!
Like,
Winnipeg's far as hell.
traveled
Yeah.
so much, yeah.
That's definitely a disadvantage. I mean, unless Dallas only did it because market-wise, you got New York, East Coast, you figure more money that way, up that way. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, fuck that team. Fuck Arizona.
Yeah, dude,
I
no,
think
the Cardinals can kiss my
It
ass.
would be a
dude.
great game to have Hassan Reddick,
His old team.
who was drafted by the Cardinals, to just come out here and get like a multi-sack game. How about half the defensive front turn all those missed sacks into actual
It
sacks
could
and big
happen.
hits?
Their O-line's built.
They got Kyler Murray singing the ball still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he can run from a pass rush. He's really quick, but I don't know, man.
I mean, teams run on this defense as well. So like I see James Conner put up an easy $150 and 2 tuds.
I hope not.
But we did keep Saquon at bay. But their O line's ass. So is
Arizona's O-line. Everything about Arizona's ass,
So-
dude. They weren't
they're-
designed to win this
Buda
year.
Baker, but is he playing right now?
Yeah, Buda.
Yeah,
He
he's
might just
playing.
not make any of those picks because he's like, I'm trying to come here next year.
I mean, their defense is like 32nd in like every
Yeah,
category.
they're
It's
really bad,
really
dude.
bad.
Which is wild that Jonathan Gannon's reputation is as a defensive
Right.
coach,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
can't coach a defense.
And it's
that-
not like their offense is
they
doing
have
good.
a couple good players on that D.
They
mean-
still got Jordan Hicks. They still got.
Nah, Jordan Hicks is on the Vikings.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he moved.
They got Buda Baker. They got Kaiser White, our boy. He was here
Yeah.
last
yeah.
year. He was solid. They have someone on the D line. I can't remember a guy's name. They have a few weapons there on defense, and they're still just 32nd in everything.
I mean, the
Maybe
team,
my guy, Mr. Who took the bus here, is not a good coach.
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
I mean, they're I mean, obviously they're trying to like basically tank and
But
rebuild.
still, you have
like,
enough
their
people-
roster is bad.
But you have
Yeah.
a few players there that like you should be able to piece together a 30th ranked defense instead of 32nd
yeah,
they still have Hollywood Brown though.
yeah. they-
on offense. Yeah, they got him, Rondell
I mean,
Moore.
against this defense,
They got Trey McBride, my boy.
Murray could still fuck around and put up 300 yards on this team unless they understand that this is the link from what
It's New Year's Eve.
I can
Everyone's
feel
gonna be lit,
is going to
dude.
be a pretty buck environment. It should be a playoff type of environment. But again, to that point, then I don't want to hear the fucking bitch ass offense be like, it's too loud in here. Like, I don't. This is some
Yeah.
sorry ass
What
shit.
was Hurts complaining about? They're supposed to be quiet when we have the ball
because
because they were saying run the ball.
Sirianni has given Hurts the ability to call audibles, which every quarterback pretty much can do anyway. But they're like, I'm giving him more keys to the castle than whatever. And Hurts is like, there's a miscommunication because even Kelsey has said, I can't hear him sometimes. So that's why he's been getting called for offside so many times or delay a game
That's
because he
that's
can't
a
hear.
weak excuse.
And I'm like, the link you played in Arrowhead, you won that game. Fine.
gotta go
nope,
with-
barely any penalties. You went to Seattle, the second loudest stadium. Should have won that game. The offense was doing well for the most part. I don't want to hear this shit about that. And you played in the playoffs at home and put up 35 points.
Yeah, if you need to go to a silent Cal at home, do it. But yeah,
Just
you
don't
can't
blame
be
us.
complaining about that, dude.
Right.
When the offense is stagnant,
Right. That's not on the fans.
that's what I'm saying. The vibes ain't great.
Well, I haven't been there since the Bills game. So I think they just
Damn, you probably going through withdrawal.
Yeah.
I think they just need me back in
Maybe,
there.
yeah, I mean, maybe that's the real answer to all this.
Damn. But yeah, fuck the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Johnny Gans Bowl, man. I don't really have a whole lot to say. They suck. They're really bad. Kyler Murray, he's okay. They have a couple weapons on offense. James Conner, Rondell Moore, Hollywood Brown, Trey McBride, but their offensive line is booty.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be another game to see if they can get that pass rush going.
Dude,
This has to be it.
I think this is our get
It's
right
kind of
game.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like if they can't get it done here, then
They do it.
who are they going to get done against?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I think this is our get right game. I really do.
I think we're. Oh, man, I'm not gonna say. Well, I think that we do win out, and we get the first seed. I can see San Fran losing.
Really?
Yeah, I see that right now.
San Fran losing against the Rams.
Probably last game. I think they lose that to the Rams, but I see that. Yeah, I think that they're going to win out. So obviously, to get the first seed, we'd have to have other things happen that are out of our control. But if this team is talking the way that they're talking, it might be a weird quiet confidence or a weird, just soft-spoken kind of weird manner that they have in this locker room. No one's really the true leader in this room, I don't think, anymore. I think they still just find a way to win, and that's enough for me to get, boom, the first seed. If they get the first seed and they have the home field advantage at home in the playoffs, that will get them to wake up and play fine, because that place is nuts when it comes down to
So it's a big difference. Yeah, it makes a difference.
and you're going to probably either play Dallas or San Fran at home.
We're
Maybe
probably going to have to
both.
play them both, yeah.
So this is it. This is your time to get your shit right, figure out a way to win, don't get hurt, put up some points, knock the rust off. It's in your control.
I don't know if I would go so far as to say we definitely get the 1 seed. I think we get the 2.
I'm just predicting that we get the 1 seed.
I think we're going to get the 2. Dallas has to lose, Detroit has to lose to Dallas on Saturday. It's going to feel weird, really weird to root for the Cowboys, but I think that's where we're at. And then I don't know if the Niners lose to. They're not going to lose to Washington.
Hell no. But
Even if Purdy doesn't play, they're not losing to Washington.
Yeah. It
But
comes
they
down
could
to the
lose to that
Rams.
Rams. So, I think we end up getting the 2. I don't think the Niners lose out. But hey, if we get the 2 seed and we go into that, like I said, hot with rejuvenated energy, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I'm not super high on this team right now, but sometimes you don't have to be. We weren't super high on the 2017 team
No.
when the playoffs started. And
Well,
look what
no,
happened.
we were until the playoffs started, though. That's what's different. They were no signs of weakness
They were ass those last couple games.
because we had a backup quarterback, but he
Yeah.
was doing it, doing his thing.
Christmas game against the
Oh,
Raiders.
I was
That
there, yes,
ugly.
sir.
Yeah, that was nasty.
It was 5
Ugh.
degrees. I was frigid
Yeah.
as hell, dude. It was cold as a witch's titty that day, dude. I was cold as hell up in the stands.
Yeah.
I was ordering beers, right? And I'd drink like half the beer and put it down. I'd go pick it up 10 minutes
Ice
later. It
chunks
was
in
a
there.
slushy.
They got to
Oh,
hold
my
that thing
God.
the
It
whole
was
time.
cold as Christ that day. We weren't too far from where your seats were.
Hell yeah.
Were you at that game?
I was not.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say I was like 2 sections over, but I didn't know you back then.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I think that this team was gonna figure out a way to. It's almost like just kind of the theme of the year, where there's no true no, we're gonna score 45 points a game. They're gonna figure out a way to do it because that's what's been the theme all year with this team. They're gonna win out. Whatever happens, happens. I think my prediction still for the Broad Street run is still gonna hold true. I'm not backing down from that at all. I haven't
Damn.
deviated course.
April 30th, 2023, you said it.
I still think they're gonna go back to the promised land. As frustrating as a team that this is.
Sometimes that's how life
This
is.
could be a dangerous team in the
Yeah.
playoffs. I'm not gonna lie. If they do click it together as like an even 2 or 3 or 5 seed.
Yeah, there's just like a
be-
couple things. I mean, just a couple things with the offense. I think we need to clean up. I don't know. We don't need to go into all the details at this point.
No.
We've been talking for a while, but main thing is just they got to figure out a way to take care of the blitzes against them, because that's the book against them at this point. It's
Well-
just blitz the hell out of Hurts.
What I'll say is the Giants are the most blitz-heavy team in the NFL.
Yeah,
So even I would be shocked if we see more than 20% blitzes against the Cardinals, mostly because Johnny Gans doesn't blitz at all. But
yeah. I mean,
once you get in the playoffs, the Lions, when we played them last year, they blitzed a bunch. That the Niners, we can't really handle their defense very well. The Cowboys will blitz as much as they need to. I do think that blitz beaters are going to be important. And I also think that more just running some plays from under center, running some
Yeah.
passes from under center, using play action a little more effectively. Things like that are going to make a difference.
yeah, need to mix it up a little bit.
So hold on. Score predictions for this Cardinals game. The line's Eagles -11.
I think I feel good about this one. I think it's going to be a beatdown. I'm going 38-13.
Jesus.
Yeah, gonna fuck them up.
I'm going to say 31-17.
I'm not too far off, actually. 38 was high, though.
That was a good.
I have us at 34-16, I think.
Okay.
Johnny Gans, man, we ain't scared of him. Nick Sirianni did bring up the point that he knows the Eagles, but everyone knows Johnny Gans is just going to play soft-ass coverage the whole time.
Right.
We'll find a million ways to pick that apart. We'll be all right. So, yeah, we win 34-16. Bonus, I think Dallas loses, or no, I think Detroit loses, which helps us get the 2 seed. I do think the Niners win. We'll have to wait and see what I feel about the Niners against the Rams.
It's weird that we're rooting for both divisional rivals, though.
It feels awful to have to root for Dallas.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Ooh.
Are they at home?
Yes. Dallas is favored by like 7 points.
That's
Well,
That's a
then that's
guarantee,
almost a
Jerry
guaranteed
World.
win right there. They're on a
Here we
15-game
go.
tear streak, right? Still, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
At the end of the segment, then Eagles talk. Then might as well think that it would
Pew,
end
pew,
the
pew,
Eagles
pew.
battle.
Shots,
Yeah.
explosives.
Go Birds.
So, nothing really with the Flyers. They've been off.
No, their game just started.
They're just
They're on the Disney on Ice road trip. They're out in Vancouver.
Yeah, they'll be on the road for a minute.
Yo, hold on. The only thing I have to, this isn't even really Flyers related. What about all these Western Canadian cities? Which ones would you most want to see? We're talking Winnipeg. We're talking Calgary. We're talking Vancouver. We're talking Manitoba. No, Manitoba's the province. We'll just talk Winnipeg,
Where would I want to go?
Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton. Edmonton's the other one.
Edmonton. I've heard Vancouver's nice.
I heard Calgary's. When we were in Hawaii, we met a guy that was Canadian, and he was from Calgary. Funny enough, and he talked it up a lot. So now we have an interest of checking out Calgary.
Yeah, Winnipeg, like, I mean, certainly not like an ideal vacation spot, but like I'm kind of intrigued by it just because it
Seems
seems like a very weird city.
Yeah.
So I always kind of like
Sounds
stuff
weird.
like that. Yeah.
I know a guy that lives in Winnipeg. He's a huge Jets fan, but he's always posting pictures on his social media. Winnipeg seems like a pretty city, dude.
Yeah.
It's not huge. It seems like it's probably the size of like Trenton.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's not big, but I'm like, damn, okay. But yeah, I hear Vancouver's where it's at though.
Yeah, Vancouver's supposed to be really nice.
Like Vancouver's essentially.
I've never been to Canada.
I've been to like Niagara Falls.
Yeah. I've heard Montreal
On which
is
side?
like
the Canadian
best.
side?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been to both sides.
Yeah. Toronto's obviously, got a lot going on, but
heard Montreal's
everyone says
banging.
Montreal is like the best spot to go.
All the French. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ottawa.
Get that
Yeah.
poutine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't
Poutine's
never
good.
really had real poutine here.
Not.
Yeah.
Not the food
It's good
sense.
stuff.
No, I'm kidding.
What do you mean?
I was playing.
What sense have you?
I was playing.
All right then. Well, yeah, we'll have more hockey talk next week. The Flyers have been off. We don't really have much to
Yeah,
say.
not much going on there.
Well, speaking of Canadians, Nick Nurse, not Canadian, but he came from Toronto. He goes to the Sixers then
He
real
used
quick.
to coach a Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he coached the Canadian team. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's a
yeah.
good pivot at least.
And Embiid sprained his ankle against the Toronto Raptors.
Damn.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
Canada.
Oh,
That's
Canada,
ass.
my ass,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, they have the best record they've had since 2001
Yeah,
season.
21-9.
Yeah.
Best record through 30 games since 2001.
That's a long
Which
stretch.
we know what happened that year. They made it to
Yeah.
the finals. Represent.
That's a long stretch.
Represent. Hip hop.
Yeah.
So, feeling pretty good about this team, not going to lie. I do. Obviously, MVP out the. I don't give a shit about if he wins MVP or not. If you get Embiid to play 80% of games or 70% of games and he's scoring 35 plus and 10 rebounds,
My concern isn't the MVP. It's that I still think, I really think after watching that game on Christmas, they need someone other than Maxey. Like Embiid, yeah. When Embiid plays, Maxey's fine as a number 2. But let's be honest here, man. Every season Embiid's been in the league, he's missed at least 1 or 2 games in the playoffs.
at least, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, assuming that happens again, we won't have James Harden there to put up 240 burgers to save us in those games.
Unless Embiid's on track to miss more games than ever before in the regular season to try to maybe save him for the playoffs.
Which he should do, but then he disqualifies himself from MVP.
That's fine, but I think that he already got one in the bag.
He wants to win that again, dude.
Of course he does, but do you want to win a championship or an MVP? There's
you're
no
right.
way he doesn't know his own longevity as well. He knows that because he plays hard for a 7-foot man.
My thing with that whole idea is like, I don't know if I'm really buy into the whole thing where it's like, oh, he plays too much in the regular season, that's why he gets hurt in the playoffs. Because you look at the way that he's gotten hurt in the playoffs, they've been like freak weird things, like where he takes like an elbow to the face.
Yeah, it's
and
never
breaks
like
his
it's
face.
just a random soft
Or like
tissue
last
injury.
year, that game against the Nets,
Guy
where he pretty
rolls
much
into
gets
his
tackled.
yeah.
Like that's not just wear and tear. That's like he just got randomly like fucked up during a game.
Yeah, he had 2 broken
So like,
faces.
But
exactly.
is it random when it happens 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row? I mean, I feel like
I think it's just the intensity of the playoffs, and like I guess that kind of shit's more likely to happen because people are just playing harder. But like I'm just saying, like I don't think that him playing less games in the regular season is necessarily going to make a difference there.
I agree with you. Like I do get what you're saying, but
Not that there would necessarily be a bad thing to rest him more, but I'm just saying that's not like a guarantee that he's going to be healthy during the playoffs.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
it's something different. But also with injuries in the NBA, like it's hard to tell like if it's resting, if he's actually hurt. I mean, the guy's a giant man. Like if he does have a tweak in his ankle or whatever, like it's not like
oh, he's definitely hurt on
Did
this
you guys
one.
think it was kind of dumb that they left him in that game? When he sprained his ankle and he was clearly like hobbled the whole time, and it was like, why is he still?
No, because they needed his production to win that game.
I guess, but it was just like he clearly just looked like fucked up.
I mean, he still put up 30. He
I
still
know.
almost had a triple
and
double
now,
in that
and he
game.
hasn't
Now,
played since.
but I mean, let's be honest, they didn't need him against Orlando. Although Orlando has been pretty good this year.
well, they really need him against the Heat
They're right behind
either
us in the
because they didn't
standings.
have Butler playing, so like they just lost that.
That Christmas game, if Maxey plays better in that
Yeah,
game on Christmas,
Maxey
we
just
They
win.
didn't really
Egg
need
in
him for
that
that.
game.
Yeah.
Which that game was pretty fun. That Christmas
Yeah,
game,
it was a
like
good
after
game.
the Eagles game was over, and like I settled down for a little bit.
I honestly wasn't really watching it because I was.
I watched
focused
the
on
second half of that game.
I was watching the football game for fantasy reasons.
Which
Which
hey,
did
that
not
didn't
go
go
my
your
way.
way.
Did not go my way.
But that Toby was hooping in that game. Kelly Oubre was balling. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
And then this last game, Maxey bounced back. Toby was balling again. Toby was hooping again.
Yeah, we got some.
Toby had a great game.
Toby
It's Toby
time.
Toby time. It's Toby time. Toby time.
I don't have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, Toby was balling.
Yeah.
B-Ball Paul, did y'all watch that game?
Where
When
he
B-Ball Paul had that one slick
Had that
like
little
between
Euro
the
step,
legs
yeah.
behind the back.
Yeah.
Yo, he had that slick between the legs behind the back pass to Maxey in
Maxey
the
for the
dribble
three.
handoff game.
Yeah, it was sick. Dude, there was one.
I was cracking up.
There was one hilarious Pat Bev play where like he gets the ball passed to him like on the wing, like outside the arc, and like it was like he should have just shot it there, but he like hesitated, then he's kind of like stuck and there's a guy in front of him and it looked like the play was just like fucked. And then he just like somehow like dribbles into the lane and does like a running hook shot for it too. I was like, that's the most ridiculous shit I've ever
He's done
seen.
that. He's done that
It's
shot a few
it was
times
so
this
fucking
year.
funny. I was like, shit like that would probably make me want to like throw my remote at the TV during the
Yeah.
playoffs. But for now, like it's fucking great.
I'm totally getting a Pat Bev jersey.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, I think overall, as a team, I feel pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like 21-9 after 30 games. The Bucks are second, but the Bucks have played a really easy schedule at this point. I think they're going to come back down to earth. I think in that 2 seed is going to be vital for the Sixers. The other thing that's going to be important is this trade. I don't know what they decide to do yet. I do
Yeah.
think, me personally, I feel like after watching that game on Christmas, that they need to get someone else that can score that's a little more assertive than Toby. How do y'all feel?
yeah. I mean, like, what kind of player do you think they need? Like another wing?
I
OG
dare
or
say
a ball handler?
OG Anunoby?
no, I don't like an OG. I dare say it's like a Zach LaVine, dude.
Really?
Maybe not him, but someone like that. I think that's what you need. Because Maxey sometimes gets shuts down against these good defensive teams like the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a part of the trade discussion is also like having your team go out against, and the Heat weren't full strength against the Sixers either, but like having you let your starting line go out there against Boston without Embiid, and they do okay, but you see what you got.
The only reason why they won those games last year against Boston was because Harden went off. You need someone that can do that.
I mean, but then you go out against the Heat and Embiid's not there again, and you see what you got. So, like, I think a lot of this, too, is, like, strategic of, like, okay, where are the gaps in this team? If we don't have Embiid on the court right now, how is Maxey facilitating the ball? Where's it going to?
Yeah.
I think that's going to give you the dead giveaway of who they're going to trade for.
It's
like they're going to make a move.
Yeah, it's, like, tough because on the one hand, you would think with how they've been playing and how they're set up, it's like you don't necessarily need, like, a star.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're saying, like, you know, they could just get sort of a, I don't know, just like a 3-and-D guy or something like that. It's like, that's like cool. But then like, who's coming out for that? Like, you know, or you're just kind of like replacing someone with someone that's like equal to that. And it's like at some point that we have enough depth really at this point, which is crazy to say. That's always been the problem.
Right.
But we actually do have a lot of depth. It's like, I feel like we need someone with a little more, you know, someone to throw in the starting five.
Yeah, they need a little more offensive, like, creativity in that starting five. It's like, if you figure you're going to go after Alex Caruso, you're probably going to have to go up to Anthony Melton, which kind of defeats the purpose,
Which I don't
right?
like because I
Yeah.
feel like he's been killing it, too.
Melton's
I
been
like
doing
him.
pretty
He's
good.
scrappy as shit.
Melton's a better offensive player. Caruso's a better defensive player, but it's essentially a wash.
Yeah.
Also, Melton and I feel like Oubre been like feeding off each other real good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and like you don't want to like talk about good vibes now. You don't want to break up the good vibes either. We
They're
said this
chilling.
about the Flyers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You don't want to break up the vibes when they're this good and they're peaking. So yeah, I mean it's going to be hard, but I do think at the end of the day that I don't know, they need someone that you can really give the ball to an offense that isn't Maxey in case Embiid's out that you can trust. Toby's been playing good. We've been through this Toby shit for 5 years. We know.
It's fucking like this,
He'll-
though.
You
he'll
just
It's
come
can't.
not-
back.
You can't trust it.
He's
You
not
can't rely on
reliable.
it, yeah.
They can't,
It's
especially
like
when
when
it
he's
comes.
doing good, that's great, but you can't expect it to last.
No.
You know.
You play that shit in the schedule, like, damn, Tobias is great. Then they play Boston. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
damn,
Tobias just
sucks.
disappears
Like,
into a corner.
you know, you play any good team in the East, the Bucks, Boston, the Heat, any good team in the West, he just kind of disappears. I don't know if it's a confidence issue or what, but
I have no idea what it is. But yeah, man, I guess we'll see. I mean, it seems like Nick Batum's coming back. Embiid will probably be back soon-ish. I mean, that ankle sprain looked pretty nasty, but apparently he started doing on-court activities today, probably just
Yeah.
shooting
Doesn't seem like
jumpers
anything
and
that
whatnot.
major.
So
Yeah.
my prediction is he'll come back when this road trip ends. Like, I don't think he comes back tomorrow against Houston. I think he's already been ruled out, actually. I don't think he comes back the next...
he been fly with the team or no?
I don't think he's with the team.
Then it makes sense to just stay home to they come home.
They play against Chicago, I think, Saturday or maybe Monday. I forget. I don't think he comes back. It's in Chicago, whatever that game is. I think he comes back the first game after the road trip ends.
Stay home. There's no sense coming back like that.
But that brings me to my other point. So in order to win MVP, he has to play 66 games at least. If you figure he's missed 4, he's going to miss tomorrow. That's 5. Let's say he misses against Chicago. That's 6. That means he can only miss 10 games the rest of the year. I think like injuries are going to cost him as his MVP because they
I mean,
implemented this
if he
dumbass
doesn't
rule.
get injured again, then I think he'd be okay. But
He's going to get banged up, dude. And they
Yeah.
implemented this stupid rule.
Yeah, but unless he keeps going on this like historical, I don't know. I mean, at the same time too, me as a viewer could care less if he wins MVP. If he still is playing dominant basketball, I'm cool with that. If he loses the MVP this year, you know, he should have had 1 or 2 before last year anyway. So
Yeah.
that's not, you know, it's a shit
But that
luck.
doesn't go into
you know.
into the record books or
Yeah,
into
but
his
it's
paycheck.
But you go back to like the Kobe and the fucking Steve Nash era. Like Kobe should have won at least 2 of those when Steve Nash was winning that shit, but like he didn't. And like that's no knock on Kobe, but you know it's just the people that vote for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like it is what it is. It sucks. But that's kind of Embiid's shtick, is that his health has been a detriment to his value across the NBA on a national scale. Jokic is never hurt. There's guys that are all...
Jokic doesn't try to jump over a phone book.
I understand that, but my point is that, like, people don't get, people that win MVP play the whole season. LeBron, people, it's just...
it is stupid.
It's the name of the game.
Arbitrarily 66 games, though.
Also, it's the fact that it's a
where
center.
have they come up with that number? I
don't know, but I just don't think that's a knock on Embiid. It's just kind of the shit luck of the draw in terms of the voting scheme. I think that's all fucking bullshit.
Dude, well, if he's decidedly the best player in the league and he doesn't win it because he only played 65 games instead of 66, then I say we storm Secaucus, dude.
I'm down.
We're going, dude. We're gonna be what do you call it? Who's the Bills coach?
Oh boy,
McDermott.
Yeah, we're gonna be our best Sean McDermott's right there. We're gonna storm Secaucus.
Well, if we storm it, it's more like January 6th.
Yeah, it's more like January 6th stuff. Yeah, we're gonna be like the shaman guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool too.
But we all got bunny ears on.
Yeah, and then we'll all go to jail.
That's all right.
And it'd be cool.
And Embiid still won't win MVP. We'll be like, fuck.
It's all for nothing. Yeah,
it'll be
just
all
like
for
Trump
naught.
didn't win the election.
Well, we won't get Embiid removed from ballots. Let's put it that way.
But yeah.
You guys got anything else?
I don't got anything else.
I got all for the Sixers. I think they were pretty good wrapped up on that one.
Yeah.
Wrapped up like a little Christmas present.
Yeah. So I had a little interesting story that I found here. Not exactly sports related, but games related, board games related.
Hell yeah.
The story coming out of China. This is from the New York Post. Oh no, it's actually from Fox. Speaking of January 6th, this is from Fox News.
Damn. Where Trevor gets all his news.
Yeah, exactly. This is where I get all my information from. So, Chinese chess was engulfed in turmoil early this week when a national champion was stripped of his title following unsavory allegations involving cheating in the sport. Zhang Qi is the official title of what is known as Chinese chess. Is the most popular board game in China. Dates all the way back to the 1st century BC, according to some historians. Then it goes on. The organization announced it was stripping Yan Chenglong of his title of Jiangqi King over cheating allegations and extremely bad character. Officials addressed the 48-year-old champion behavior and in the post-game celebrations. This is a quote. Yan consumed alcohol with others in his room the night of the 17th, and then he defecated in the bathtub of the room he was staying in on the 18th.
Ew.
In an act that damaged hotel property, violated public order and good morals, had a negative impact on the competition and the event of Jiangqi, and was of extremely bad character, the CXA said in a statement. That's like the official organization of whatever. The organization then had to address allegations that Yan was cheating during the tournament with the use of anal beads. The AFP reported rumors, which spread across the Chinese social media site Weibo, of Yan using anal beads with wireless transmitters to help him in the contests.
What?
Based on our understanding of the situation, it is currently impossible to prove that Yan engaged in cheating via anal beads, as speculated by social media. But he, what does it say? He's been suspended for a year and stripped of his prize money. It's unclear how much he was rewarded.
So hold up.
There's a lot to unpack here.
So apparently,
he unpacked it from his butt. Apparently,
so the story as it's told here is that he cheated using anal beads, then got really hammered in the hotel room and took a shit in the bathtub.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, after having that butt all plugged, it probably just
it was
gonna come out.
Too much for the toilet.
Also, though, the fact that they call their chess winner the king, I will say that's some kingly shit right there. I will say.
What, just pooping all over the floor?
Yeah, it's real king
Well,
shit.
you win some shit like that, you make all that money. Yeah, I'm gonna shit in the tub. Who cares? Like, what do you mean? I'm the
I
king
want them
right
to
now.
make like
That's nasty.
Also, who's the friend that's buzzing the little me? You know, if it's anal beads on a vibrator
Dude, it's hilarious
thing.
because this was like literally an episode of It's Always Sunny. Like it's one of the newer seasons, so probably a lot of people haven't seen it. But there's like an episode where like they get Frank to enter like a chess tournament, and
they put anal beads up his ass?
Yeah.
Oh, I did see.
Did you
I
see that
seen
one? I was like
Yeah,
reading
yeah,
this. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
holy shit! Did they just watch that episode and be like, we can do this too? This is a great idea.
Damn. I mean, hey, shout out to what's his name?
What was it?
But he didn't get to keep the
Yan
money.
Cheng
Don't
Wang.
give him a
Yeah,
Shout out to
he
Yang
doesn't have
Cheng
the money.
Wang, though,
He didn't
for-
get to keep the money.
You
know what, though?
I'd only give him a shout out if he got to keep the money. He fucked up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they didn't. No, time out. Shout out to Yang.
Probably could have gotten away with it if he didn't take a shit in the bathtub in the hotel
Yeah.
room.
He's like,
he
you
was,
But
yeah, he
you
was
can be
taking it too far.
anal beads in your ass for a whole tournament. That's got to be 3 hours at least.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how long that must have lasted.
That- and people- and it's-
How much money was the price?
It has a couple
It's undisclosed.
million yen has to be. But like you figure they're probably
no, I mean,
I'll suffer through it for whatever the
Yeah,
money
but-
is.
a thing up your ass for 3 hours, not moving. Okay, but anal beads in your ass and then vibrating every move. That shit's rattling something up there.
You
Them
can,
walls
probably,
are.
you can probably take something to negate that, though.
You could probably poop out a brick after that, and then you drink alcohol after that.
It would, yeah, I guess
That
he probably
shit's
was partying
running
after
through
that. Yeah.
Maybe a little, whatever, maybe anything, a steak dinner, whatever it wants to eat. I'm not saying whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Little seafood, little rice, little whatever,
He
little
was definitely
sake.
probably drinking a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little sake. He probably got all lit up. I'm the king, and then shit his pants in the tub. Though, shout out to him for doing it in the tub.
Did you guys ever see that Netflix series called The Queen's Gambit? It was about like the chess chant. Like
I wanted to, but never watched
Anya
it.
Taylor-Joy.
Was she doing that too?
No, but I was just saying it'd be funny if the Netflix made a series about this guy.
That would be way more
Well,
interesting.
because it
I'm
was
sure.
funny because the whole like that story in the Netflix series, I guess it's based on a real person. I think is that like she was like this like genius like chess like savant or whatever, but was also like an alcoholic. So it's like kind of a similar story where this guy likes to
they're
have
missing-
he goes have a drink or two and then
Just starts. Yeah, put that shit in my
shitting
ass
all
real
over
quick.
yeah.
I will say though, shout out to my man.
King's Gambit.
That's a kingly deed. He
I-
risked it for the biscuit.
But he didn't get the biscuit. I beg to differ.
Well-
If he gotten the biscuit, I'd have much more respect.
Apparently, he
lost,
did for a
dude.
while though.
But he lost.
But they can't get his ass. No pun intended. Because how you gonna tell if he had anal beads in his ass during the game? You can't now.
Yeah, they said they haven't been able to prove the cheating
How-
allegations.
But, he
Hello?
didn't
Rumors
get,
at
but
this
did
point,
he
but-
get the money? No.
It's paused
No.
right now until
I guess he gets his name
Dude, I
on,
mean, yeah,
on the
I mean, it
chess
seems
trophy.
like, he could have gotten away with the cheating and gotten the money because they haven't been able to prove that. But I guess what they were able to prove was that he took a shit in the hotel bathroom.
But this case sounds a little clogged up to me right now because I can't tell if he had them beads up in that butthole. That little ass butthole. Trained his whole life for this shit. Do you want to take it away? Well, again, I think he deserves the money. Respect to him for having it just endurance-wise to hold that shit in there.
Yeah, I think if he came over to the, I mean, I don't know if there's any tournaments for this type of game in the United States. There probably is somewhere.
I ain't that
I'm
smart
sure
for
there
this
is.
Chinese
shit.
chess.
I'm sure there is.
It's about first century BC
Like, I don't know if
shit.
maybe
What?
it seems like he sounds like a guy that'd be more at home here in the.
This country's banning books.
Yeah.
This team, we don't know how to
Yeah, he
fucking
would
do
totally
chess.
fit in here, man.
He would dominate. He'd be
People do worse things at the hot dog eating contest.
He was just
dominate the league.
yeah, just he's the Gigi Allen of,
Yeah.
of Chinese chess.
Dude,
He'd be like,
what do
yeah.
you think
Just
people do after the
pissing
Coney
shit
Island
everywhere.
Nathan's hot dog eating contest? They're probably even more vulgar than him.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
And
Something
they
out of
sacrificed life and limb to try to win that.
Mm-hmm.
He would totally. My man's a true American.
Yeah.
We should give him American citizenship.
yeah. I mean, it would seem like that. I mean, it seems like they would do that sort of thing as like a, as kind of like a anti-China propaganda thing. It's like, oh, we're taking in this hero that was unfairly scorned by the Chinese Communist Party for doing nothing wrong. I mean,
That's
who
what I'm
amongst us,
saying,
who
dude.
amongst us hasn't taken a shit in a hotel bathtub?
You know, all that
After
Republican national
cheating in a competition with anal beads.
That's what well, maybe not that second part, but that's what I'm saying. Though.
Maybe not. Yeah. Shitting in a hotel bathtub, yeah, but anal beads, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, I'm buzzed up right now. He said, nah, I'm kidding. Damn, though. I will say, what an interesting. Not gonna lie, if you had a fucking couple anal beads up in your ass playing chess too, and could get a
It would
signal.
be intense.
But not only the factor of keeping that in there, but then being straight faced when your buddy's like, zzz,
Well, maybe that's the
You know what I
trick.
mean?
You're like making weird faces and throwing off the opponent.
that training program's got to be
Yeah.
fucked up.
It's probably,
You know how many hours you're gonna have when you're not playing chess, just walking around anal
it's like,
beads
I don't know
and
if you ever
vibrating
heard
your
about,
butt?
if you ever want to beat a polygraph.
Put anal
it's
bead in
kind
your
of a sim-
ass?
Well, maybe you could do that, but what I've heard is that what people do is, because, you know, like
It's all about pulse.
yeah, well, it's about, like, they'll take a, you know, it's like they'll have, like, this, like, baseline, whatever, they ask you a
Of your
bunch
heartbeat.
yeah, and so it's like when you're, like, lying, they'll spike, and that, like,
That's true. What's your name?
that accounts for,
Trevor?
like, some increased level of, like, stress or whatever. So what they do is, like, you'll put like a fucking, like, tack in your shoe, and you'll fucking, like, if you're gonna lie, or if you're like, I guess it's like if you're just, I guess
you're
you would
telling
have to
the truth, you
telling
just-
the truth.
yeah.
You, like, fucking, like, press down that shit and, like, kind of stab your foot so that it spikes, so that it's, like, consistent the whole time. So it's kind of like you're doing that, but with anal beads, playing chess.
Some guys
Chinese chess.
Some
different
guys like,
game,
I
not
could have been
regular
doing that
chess.
the whole time. I could have just been pricking my toe the whole time. Instead, I got this.
Well, that wouldn't necessarily tell them, like, the right way to move the.
Right.
I don't know how this game works. Chinese chess. I don't think
the
I've ever
fact
played
that
it.
there's
I like
no, like-
Chinese
Yeah,
checkers.
that's what I was gonna say.
But
What
that's
the-
like very simple. I think Chinese chess is a little more sophisticated.
The fact that there's no co-conspirator picked out yet, maybe this guy just
yeah,
liked
who's
having...
the guy in the van with the transmitter?
Right.
That's what I don't know.
right.
Well, no, he has to be seeing the game, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless
When the
they-
Always Sunny's episode, they had, like, the spy glasses,
Yeah.
and they had the yeah.
Maybe they had something like that, and
Maybe,
they
maybe.
haven't disclosed that information.
It's kind of
yet.
like I feel like you can get if you're, because, you know, like, poker players wear the sunglasses.
dude.
I don't know if Chinese chess involves bluffing or anything like that.
Well, clearly it involves something that's more intense than we thought it was. He's the only one that got caught. Who knows what they were doing over there?
True.
Maybe it's just like every time they, like, buzz him, they just think that this guy is, like, so, like, intense about the game that every time
He's like,
he's just like, and they're just like, man, this guy's so dedicated. Like,
The
he's
veins
so,
are all pop out of his
I mean,
forehead.
that
They're
makes
like,
a good point, man.
He's so he's so focused on this game, like it's consumed his mind.
yeah. Well, I mean, you ever partake in that?
What, Chinese chess?
No,
You ever had-
we never played Chinese chess.
You ever have an anal bead in your ass?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, I've never
I mean,
partaken.
I
must-
can only imagine what that's like.
And and then queued up vibration too. Not even like it's coming. You know what I
It's
mean?
like, ugh.
Someone does a move, you're like, I don't know about that right there. Like, it's kind of tricky to.
You're probably coughing like,
yeah, but can't go
yeah.
off too hard because you know what I mean. Can you have that shit pop out a little bit
true.
or
yeah,
fart?
yeah,
Probably
that's
can't
true.
fart. Ain't nothing coming
It's
out.
like, dude,
Maybe you can't even pee. Sometimes when you be peeing, sometimes you let out the fart
a
too.
little after pee fart. Well, that's
Yeah,
what you're gonna have.
the
A
guy
couple,
just-
you gotta have a couple rounds up in that chamber. Real
it's like
quick.
farts during the game and a bunch of beads just like split up the bottom
Yeah.
of his pants.
It's like,
on the
oh
ground.
yeah,
It's like,
don't mind
it's-
me.
I don't know what that is.
Nothing
I've
to
never
see
seen those in
here.
my life.
It's like, what the hell smells like shit? You're like, I don't know. I don't know.
Jesus.
Damn.
Definitely not beads that I've had.
That's
up
some
my
shit
ass.
Gannon would do, though. Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon would rock anal beads.
Fuck yeah. He probably rocking them
Yeah.
today. The defense, they'll come down Sunday. The defense is like, they're doing this. He's like, zzz, we got to change a play real quick.
Yeah, we're
Well,
calling.
I hope you got the remote control to that shit. You can just be messing with him all game.
I
On
would just
Sunday.
turn it on, and just throw it away.
calling zero blitz.
Yeah. Put that man in a blender.
He ain't calling no zero blitz, man.
Nah.
He's gonna have his defense in cover for
Yeah.
60 out of 70 plays. He's a bitch, dude.
That dude sucks.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I guess that's just going to about do it for us here tonight, everybody. Please leave us a 5-star rating and a review wherever you get your podcast. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Give us a follow.
It's the last pot of the year.
Yeah, this is our
That is true.
hold
This is-
up.
It's the last pot of
This
the
is
year.
our last pot of the year. So, well,
Damn.
I guess we got to thank our loyal listeners, our viewers, our friends, our homies, our comrades, yo. Thank you for rocking with us in the first 42 episodes, the first year of the Citywide Pod. We promise it will probably not get better.
It can't get worse.
It may get worse.
Unless we're all rocking anal beads next week.
We may start rocking anal beads and consuming full kegs
Just
during an
in honor
episode.
of Yan.
But hey,
Shang Long.
at the end of the day, whether we get better,
Our man Yan.
assuming we get worse, we're still your boys. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And go Birds. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.